Hello and welcome. This is a brand new episode of Bharat, the Forgotten Chapters on India Abroad. This is me, your host Shivangi Mukherjee, and let's dive right in. Imagine a country that was once administered as a part of Bharat, shared trade routes with Bharat, sent its resources to Bharat, and even became a place where Indian freedom fighters were imprisoned. If you're thinking this is a fictional alternate history, it isn't. This was Burma, today known as Myanmar. For almost a century, from 1824 until 1937, Burma was governed as part of British India. But exactly 10 years before India's independence, Britain decided to separate Burma from India. On 1st of April 1937, King George VI announced that Burma would become a separate colony. For Indians, it was a painful moment. For Burmese nationalists, it was seen as the beginning of a new national identity. But nearly 90 years later, one question remains. Was separation the right decision? And why did India become the world's largest democracy while Myanmar became trapped in military coups, ethnic conflicts, and instability? To understand this, we have to go back to the beginning. Before Burma became separate from India, it first became a part of British India. The reason? Classic British imperial logic. Expand first, justify later. In 1785, the Burmese kingdom captured Arakan, a region close to British-controlled territories. The British, who were already busy collecting kingdoms like they were collecting stamps, became alerted. By 1880, they had defeated the Maratha Empire. Several Indian kingdoms had already come under British control. Now, a growing Burmese kingdom near Assam and Indian northeastern borders looked like a strategic threat. So in 1824, Britain launched the First Anglo-Burmese War. Two more wars followed, in 1852 and in 1885. And after three conflicts, the British had taken control of the entire Burmese territory: Arakan, Tenasserim, Pegu, and finally Upper Burma. All came under British rule. But Britain was not interested in Burma only because of land. It was interested because of geography. Burma sat at a strategic crossroads. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands, the Arakan Yoma, and Burmese coastline formed an important maritime zone. At the center of it was Rangoon, today's Yangon. For the British Empire, Rangoon was not just a port. It was a launch pad. From here, Britain could project power into Southeast Asia, compete with rival European powers, and keep an eye on Japanese expansion. Basically, Britain did not see Burma as a neighbor. It saw Burma as an aircraft carrier with a population. But Burma was not just about military strategy. It was also economically connected with India. Thousands of Indians migrated to Burma for work under British rule. Burma supplied two valuable resources: rice and teak. Burmese teak was used in some of British India's grandest buildings, including the Victoria Memorial in Kolkata and Rashtrapati Bhavan in Delhi. Burmese rice also helped feed parts of India, including Bengal and UP, during periods of famine. Meanwhile, India supplied Burma with coal, industrial goods, and labor. Two regions were economically connected, but politically things began to change. The demand for separation gained momentum during the Simon Commission in 1927. While Indians were protesting with slogans of "Simon, go back," Burmese nationalists were presenting another demand: separate Burma from India. Their argument was simple. The Burmese said they were culturally different from Indians. They had their own language, identity, and history. But another major concern was numbers. British India had a population of around 247 million people. Burma had only around 13 million. Many Burmese leaders feared that within such a large political system, their voices would disappear. The British eventually accepted this argument. The Government of India Act 1935 proposed separating Burma. And in 1937, Burma officially became separate from British India. But here comes the irony. Even among Burmese voters, support for separation was not unanimous. In elections before the separation, the Anti-Separation League actually performed better than the Separation League. Many Burmese people preferred remaining connected with India, but Britain had already made up its mind. Because if there was one thing the British Empire loved more than ruling colonies, it was reorganizing colonies without asking the people living there. Burma became independent in 1948. But the new nation faced a major challenge. How would it balance the majority and minorities? Burma was home to many ethnic groups: Karens, Kachins, Shans, Rohingyas, and others. The biggest question was, would Myanmar become an inclusive nation for all communities, or would power remain concentrated among the ethnic Burmese Buddhist majority? Over the decades, Myanmar struggled with this question. Military coups became frequent. Democracy remained fragile. Even Aung San Suu Kyi, daughter of independence leader Aung San, spent years under house arrest. When her party finally won elections, the military again seized power in a coup. The country also faced serious ethnic conflicts. The Rohingya crisis in the Rakhine state became one of the biggest humanitarian issues in the world, forcing thousands to flee to neighboring Bangladesh and India, giving rise to a refugee crisis in both countries. Myanmar today continues to deal with multiple armed groups and conflicts involving different ethnic communities. This is perhaps why the story of Bharat takes a different turn. When India became independent in 1947, it faced enormous challenges. Partition, communal violence, hundreds of princely states, and mass poverty. But instead of creating a state based on one religion, one ethnicity, or one language, India chose a constitutional democracy. The constitution gave representation to different communities, protected minority rights, and created democratic institutions. India's journey has obviously not been perfect. There have been challenges, conflicts, and debates. But this democratic system survived. Elections continued. Governments changed peacefully. This constitution remained the foundation. So did Burma make a mistake by separating from India? History rarely gives a simple answer. Burma had genuine reasons for wanting a separate identity. But independence alone does not create a successful nation. Institutions do. Constitutions do. Democracy does. And perhaps the biggest lesson from the India-Burma story is this. A nation is not built only by drawing new borders. It is built by deciding who belongs within those borders. As Bharat is close to celebrating its Independence Day, the story of Burma reminds us that freedom is only the beginning. The real challenge is building a nation where every citizen has a place.